Hey guys, another quick string review. I'm still searching for the best combination for the Ezone 98. This time it is Solinco Tour Bite Soft. I recently tried Yonex Tour Spin. It was a bit too stiff, too boardy. I think regular turbite would be a bit better, but I don't like how it ages. The launch angle gets high pretty fast. The control of the launch angle with the regular turbite can be a bit tricky. When the tension drops, the ball goes more up and down. I want to feel the launch angle. Whenever I am a little bit surprised with the launch angle, I get scared a little bit and I take down acceleration, and it should be the other way around. I should be encouraged to accelerate more. Ezone, in a way, it encourages you to accelerate. Yeah, it is a responsive racket on the edge of being a powerful frame, but the launch is pretty linear, so you really can kick up the hand, the wrist acceleration without being that much punished. But the access to spin is a little bit limited. I think it will be the most difficult racket to fine-tune the response that I'm looking for. I want a bit of this spin potential without losing the confidence. I've tried Polytour Pro, it was too launchy. Polytour Spin, it was too dead, too boardy. I've tried Technifiber Razor Soft, that was too close to Yonex Polytour Pro, meaning too much power for my needs. So yeah, Solinco Tour Bite Soft. In general, I think Tour Bite Soft pockets the ball a bit better compared to regular Tour Bites. The launch angle isn't as extreme, and when the tension drops, I think the increase in launch angle is quite natural. I also used here 130 gauge, so the string is thicker, giving me even better launch control, potentially less power, but a bit better margin for acceleration. Of course, with the thicker gauges, the spin potential gets slightly worse, but through added control, you get more confidence, so you can accelerate more, and acceleration is still the biggest fuel for spin potential. So I'm trying to find the balance that will give me enough confidence, control, that I can trade for spin potential. With the thicker gauges, more control, lower launch angle, yeah, you get less comfort, but now here Tour Bite Soft, so it is slightly softer than a traditional control-oriented string, and also because it is a thicker gauge, with more control I can drop tension, and with lower tensions strings can move a little bit more, increasing the spin potential again. So see, with how many ways we can achieve the sweet spot, like the possibilities are basically endless. Softer string, higher tensions versus stiffer strings, lower tensions, thinner gauges, higher tensions, thicker gauges, lower tensions. Come on. Now back to Solinco Tour Bite Soft 130. I think the special trait of this particular string would be the ratio of comfort to control. For how control-oriented the string feels, the comfort is absolutely amazing. Yeah, maybe in a Ezone 98 you're not really looking for a comfortable string. Ezone on itself is quite comfortable. But it's a nice combination, I would say, and maybe gives some sense of pocketing, and that you can translate into spin. In fact, I would say Tour Bite Soft 130 might have been the softest in feel, like comfort, string I ever tried in a Yonex Ezone 98. I am also thinking a little bit about the Technifiber Razor Soft here and Yonex Polytour Pro, but maybe even it feels softer, maybe towards mushy. Interesting fact, Fernando Verdasco in the past used Laxalon Original. It was his favorite string for many years, and I've seen him using Solinco Tour Bite Soft 130, so maybe a great alternative for those who are used to those very traditional strings, boardy, low powered, looking for a bit of this jump, pocketing, comfort without messing up with their game, with their stroke mechanics. Yeah, maybe. In general, I prefer round strings, or at least my match results were best with round strings. I can play with 6-sided, 7-sided, 8-sided. 5-sided, 4-sided, they tend to be a bit random with their launch angle, or maybe the launch angle is just more up and down with bigger arc. In fact, I feel like with this type of shots, I lose some pace. I often want to hit more through the ball, especially on my backhand, which is my better shot. I need something with which I can play more up and down, but when I need, flatten out the ball. So Tour Bite Soft, being a neighbor to regular Tour Bite, I think the launch angle is more linear. The jump of the string bed is more gentle, and those are actually a positive things in my book. In fact, I would say Tour Bite Soft is closer to some round strings than the regular Tour Bite. I remember testing it in many rackets. Back then, when I used it in Angel TC95, it was very close to string called Signum Pro Firestorm, but Firestorm is a round string, and Tour Bite Soft, yeah, it is a shaped string. But the response, quite similar, pocketing sensation, quite similar, control, quite similar. I gave Ezone to my friend with the Tour Bite Soft, and he was quite shocked with the feel, how much comfort you can get just by changing the string. I used here 23 kilos tension. Maybe I should have gone a bit lower on the crosses, because still I was missing some of the spin potential. That's why I thought maybe it is now starting to be a thing with the Ezone 98, and maybe I just have to get used to this response from the Ezone rather than trying to fix it. Fixing maybe might be not the best word describing the Ezone 98, but balancing the response, or maybe making a bigger toolbox. I like to use this word toolbox. When you are playing matches, you need different solutions. The opponent might play a totally different ball to the previous opponent, so having options is a great asset, and yeah, I call it toolbox. You have options, what ball you want to give to the opponent. And me, as a grinder, my game is more about finding the weaknesses of my opponent and staying out of the problems on my side. So yeah, problem solving, right? So with the Solinco Tour Bite Soft, I am still missing a little bit of the spin potential. Maybe I'll try 125 gauge to open up the windows a little bit more, so the spin potential definitely will increase, but the power will increase as well, so this might be a challenge. Ezone is on the edge for me of being a powerful frame, or too responsive frame, too jumpy on defense. When I try to basically push the ball back deep, sometimes I'm losing the ball and hit it out. And when I try to apply the spin, sometimes I'm just losing the ball from the string bed too fast, and I'm too late with importing spin. Similar issue I experienced with the Speed Pro, for example. The increase in power is bigger than the increase in spin with the more aggressive accelerations. But that being said, I have nothing really bad to say about this string. It is a really great string. Lerner Tien entered top 100 ATP with this string, but I think it was a 125 gauge. Like I said, Fernando Verdasco used this string next to his favorite Laxon Original. It is quite affordable, so another plus there. The comfort is very good. The feel is quite good, but recently released Mach 10, I think, has a better feel, more focused, I like to say. With the Tour Bite Soft, sometimes you don't really experience or feel the exact spot on the racket where you hit the ball. Some players might associate this feel with the more forgiving string bed because there is less shock on the hand. Launch angle, great control there. Actually much better than with the Polytour Pro, than with the regular Tour Bite Technifiber Razor Soft. But still, the launch angle is slightly higher compared to round strings. Is it good? Is it bad? It really depends on what you are looking for. For me, it is within what I am looking for. It could be lower, it could be slightly even higher. I'm just looking for the specific grab of the ball. With the Tour Bite Soft 130, I'm still releasing the ball, or actually maybe not me, but the frame with this string releases the ball slightly too fast. It's harder to shape the ball. So I guess that's it for this review. If you have any questions, let me know. Make suggestions. What string should I try next? I might revisit this string, or maybe I'll just go to Mach 10. I think it will suit Ezone, at least stylistically, and this is always an exciting point when the racket looks great out of the bag. So, guys, make sure to subscribe, help this channel a lot, and see you soon. Bye bye.